So I'm still trying out different angles for the video. I apologize about the glare here on Puss. So we're going to read another all-time favorites, Treasured Tales of Childhood. Last time, we read, what did we read? Little Red Riding Hood is what we read. These are all collected by Barbara Salmons and Ruth Rooney, published by the Southwestern Company, Nashville, Tennessee. And this was compiled in 1974. So maybe older than some of your parents. So I'm going to go straight to Puss in Boots. And so that is 5. So we read Little Red Riding Hood before. So Sleeping Goldilocks, Cinderella, Puss in Boots. So this one is illustrations by Bernice and Lou Myers. McNally and Company, Chicago. Copyright McNally and Company. So as you can tell, it's a little bit of a classic story. I don't know how much you remember about Puss in Boots before Shrek, but this is just an older version of it. It's been around for a long time. So we see a boy, a cat, a windmill. Windmills were powered by the wind. There are some still, but it's not quite as revolutionary as it once was. But a lot of these worked in a mill, and there was a thing called a millstone that would grind the wheat. So that's why the miller and those over here actually are important. Alright, so once upon a time, a miller died and left all he possessed to his 3 sons. 1, 2, 3. The property, let's see here. But he had only these 3 things. His mill, windmill that ground flour. His ass, it's a donkey. Although it can also be used for naughty words, so maybe don't use that one with your adults. And his cat. Meow. The property was soon divided. The eldest brother took the mill. That's going to be the part that's profitable because he can actually make flour with that to sell. The second son received the ass. So, donkeys are really good at carrying things, so he might be good for being a pack animal, for traveling, or maybe being a merchant. That left only the cat for the youngest, who could not be comforted for his bad luck. Meow. Well, from the outside, a kitty cat does not do very much. The kitty cat will eat the mice that eat the grain, but without a mill, without grain, what use, Well, let's see. Oh, this is a special cat. Puss in Boots is very special. My brothers, said he, will be able to earn a living if they work together. But when I have eaten my cat and made a fur collar of his skin, I shall die of hunger. You don't do that. The cat had heard all this. Coming up to his new master, he said, "Do not worry, master. Give me a hempen sack, and have me made a pair of boots, so that the brambles may not tear my feet. You shall see that you have not fared so badly. Kitty Cat's got a plan. As soon as the cat had got what he had asked for, he put on his fine new boots and hung the sack around his neck. Then he went off to the rabbit meadow. Inside the bag he put some bran. Oh, see, he's tempting them little rabbits. Rabbits like to be in the brambles because it's safe in there. That's why he needed the boots, and the bag is sturdy for him to catch the rabbit. Hardly had he lain down when a reckless young rabbit ran into the sack. The cat now went to the king. He was shown the way to the king's audience chamber. Oh, making a fine low bow to the king, he said, "Sire, here is a rabbit which my lord, the Marquis of Carabas, has bidden me to bring you." "Say thank you to your master and tell him I am much pleased," said the king. Oh, that must have been a really special rabbit. All right, so they got some introductions to the king. All right. A few days later, the cat hid in a wheat field. This time, 2 partridges walked into his bag. At once he drew tight the strings, and the birds were safely caught. These he presented to the king, as he had presented the rabbit. The king was delighted and gave orders that the cat should be given something good to eat. Oh, so in exchange for those birds he brought, he got something yummy. Thus, the cat kept on for 2 or 3 months. One day he learned that the next morning that the king was going to drive on the banks of the mill stream with his daughter, who was the most beautiful princess in the whole world. Okay. So the cat said to his owner, "If you will take my advice, your fortune is made. You have only to go bathing in the stream. I will show you where." What a clever kitty. I like how simple the little man is. Look at him. He looks kind of like Raggedy Andy. And the kitty is very proud of their plan. Said, "You get the cat some nice boots, but I don't know that he even has decent boots." Well, he's like, "I'm doing all right over here. I'm doing all right." Oop. He's a cheery little fella. Look at him. He's just like, "I'm gonna give myself a bath. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Look at that pretty butterfly. It's blue." The cat's master could not see what good could come of that. Still, he did as Puss advised. While he was enjoying his bath, rub-a-dub-dub, the king passed by. Now, what did Sir Cat do but begin to cry with all his might, "Help! Help! The most honorable Marquis of Carabas is drowning!" Oh my. Being dramatic over here. I love his little face. Look at his face. Is the Marquis actually in danger? No, but he wants the king to think so, doesn't he? Tricky kitty. The king put his royal head outside the curtains of his carriage. As soon as he recognized the cat, he commanded his royal guard to run in haste. So run real quick to the aid of the most honorable Marquis of Carabas. I may be saying that wrong, but I'm going to keep going with it. He says, you gotta go save this guy. He's been feeding me live birds and animals for months. I like him. We should make sure he's safe. That's exactly what the king's thinking. While they were dragging the Marquis out of the water, the cat drew near the royal coach. He told the king that thieves had come and carried away all his master's clothes. Now it was really the cat himself who had hidden them. He says, oh no, all his clothes got stolen. He has no clothes. The king ordered his royal wardrobe keeper to go and fetch some of his finest garments for the most honorable Marquis. The fine clothing set off his good looks so very well that the king's daughter found him exceedingly to her taste, which is to say she thought he was real cute. She's like, he seems like a cutie pie. I think I like him. Oh my. The Marquis of Carabas had no sooner looked at her for 2 or 3 times than he liked her very much indeed. So he thinks she's pretty cute too. The king, noting this, asked the Marquis to join the royal party on its drive. He's like, that's a pretty nice son-in-law I might be having here. Seems decent. The cat went running ahead. On meeting some peasants who were mowing, he said to them, good folk who mow, if you do not tell the king that this meadow belongs to the most honorable Marquis of Carabas, you shall be minced as fine as pie meat. Oh, he's threatening people. Oh my. All right, so the king's talking to them. All right, let's see. When the king passed, he asked the mowers whose meadow they were mowing. It belongs to the Marquis of Carabas, they all said, for they were frightened by the cat's warning. I mean, come on. A cat shows up and says he's going to make you into a little mince meat. That sounds pretty scary to me. You have a noble inheritance, said the king to the Marquis. He's thinking he's pretty rich. He says, okay, I guess your land is pretty big. I'm all right with this. Ooh, it's a giant. Extra tiny kitty cat. Meow. At last, Puss reached a great castle. The owner was an ogre. He was the richest ogre you ever saw. I don't know that I've ever seen any ogres, but I mean, he's got a castle. So I'll say that he's probably not house poor. He's probably rich. For all the lands through which the king had passed really belonged to him. Oh, okay, so he seems rich. The cat had taken pains to find out what special magic the ogre could do. Now he asked if he could speak with the owner of the castle. I've been told, said Sir Cat to the ogre, that you can change yourself into any sort of animal. For instance, a lion, or even into an elephant. He's like, well, yeah, I don't want to brag, but, okay.
That is true, said the ogre crossly, and to prove it to you I shall see me change into a lion.
Puss was so frightened to see a real lion in front of him that he reached the roof in a twinkling of an eye, which is to say really quickly, and climbed out upon the gutters for greater safety. When Puss saw that the ogre had changed back again, he came down from the roof. He confessed to the ogre that he had had a very great fright. Oh my, you scared me indeed. You hear the kitty cats playing over there. I don't think my kitty cats are gonna change any ogre's minds. They have trouble catching their own tails. I've also been told, said Puss, that you can take the shape of the very tiniest animal. For example, a rat or even a mouse. I'll admit that I think it quite impossible. Ooh, he's daring him to do it.
Impossible, roared the ogre. You shall see for yourself.
And instantly he changed into a mouse and began to run about upon the floor. No sooner did the eyes of Puss-in-Boots fall upon the mouse than he threw himself upon it and ate it up. Oh my, that was his plot all along, was to eat the mousey. I do think it's impressive that his clothing went down to being a mouse, but not a lion. Oops. I'm sorry, book. This book's 60 years old and I'm giving it little boo-boos. Now the king, as he passed by, noticed the mighty castle of the ogre and wished to visit it. Puss-in-Boots ran out to meet the royal party. Welcome, your majesty, he said. Welcome to the castle of the most honorable Marquis of Carabas. Ooh, fancy. I like how she's dressed for like severe winter. She's got like a little muff over here, and like it's just definitely not winter. I mean, they're like it's fall, I guess, for them to be harvesting wheat. All right, so those pretty fish. Ooh, there's a little blue jay, some pink roses.
How is this, Marquis? Cried the king. This wonderful palace, too, is yours? Nothing can be lovelier than this courtyard. Let us see inside, I pray you.
He's nosy. He's like, I want to see inside your house. This looks cool. Following his majesty, who entered first, they all went into the great hall. Wow, he's just marching right into this other person's house. There they found ready a luncheon, lunch, which the ogre had ordered to be prepared for friends. So where's the ogre's friends? That seems like that might be a problem, Puss. All right. After seeing the immense wealth of the Marquis, and having drunk to his health, the king said to him,
There is no one, my dear Marquis,
whom I should like better as my son-in-law. It rests only with you. The Marquis, with a low bow, accepted joyfully the honor offered to him by the king. As for Puss-in-Boots, he became a great lured and hunted mice only when he wanted amusement. Da 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 da. So the mouse is safe unless he's bored. I like his little hat with the feather. But look, I guess they're gonna get married. And that was the end. Did you like it? I thought it was fun. It's a little quick, but it's cute. Well, thanks so much for listening, and you have a great day.